All right, Bruin fans, we are joined today by the first ever George Fox Olympian, Sarah King. Sarah, thank you for taking some time out of your busy training schedule to talk with us. I know that this has been a whirlwind of a last month for you, so we really appreciate you taking some time. And right off the bat, I see you wearing a beautiful Swiss team jacket. How does it feel to be a member of the Swiss national team?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Thanks, Seth. Yeah, this is from the Swiss Olympic collection. So we have like different competition gear and then like gear that we wear for like media interviews and travel and stuff. So yeah,
Well, it looks
so
incredibly comfortable. Um,
it is.
we've gotten in touch a couple times to do some long form articles about your experience, we've given our fans a little bit of a chance to get to know about the journey. But while you were in Switzerland, I know you had some fun experiences. Whether that was the rare chance to take a weekend and see something really cool in the Swiss Alps, or just the chance to train in a different environment. Could you tell us a little bit about what it was like to stay with your family, cool experiences in that environment, and then maybe something you told me once in an email about a weekend getaway you were able to make to a waterfall. Maybe just give us a little peek behind the curtain what your experience was like across the pond.
Yeah. So I mean, while I've been in Switzerland, like my focus has been like training. And I've also been working, so I haven't like been like, in vacation mode, I guess. But yeah, I have been able to do some cool things. And also, I've been living on a sheep farm while I've been in Switzerland. So that's been a really cool experience as well. Um, so one of the cool things I got to do was help take care of this baby lamb. Her mom died, and so we have had to like feed her with a bottle and stuff. So that was a pretty cool experience. She'll like follow me around when
Okay,
I feed her, so
that's awesome. You
that's
made a
pretty
new
cool.
friend.
Yeah. Um, and then also I've like helped with the hay and stuff on the farm. So that was pretty cool also. Um, And then as far as like seeing Switzerland, I've been able to go to Lauterbrunnen. That's a little village at the foot of the Alps. Um, and that was a really cool experience. They have like a lot of really cool waterfalls there, like all over this like valley. Um, and they also have waterfalls inside the mountain. So you can take this like elevator sort of up this like mine shaft, and you can see these like cave waterfalls lit by floodlights.
That
So very
sounds really
cool
incredible.
experience.
Okay.
That
Well, I know we have some beautiful waterfalls here in the Columbia River Gorge, but it sounds like the Alps might have us beat a little bit there. Um, as far as the experience, you go across the pond, as they say. You were a local girl, chose to compete at the collegiate level after you fell in love with track, and continue to get faster throughout your career at Fox. The coaches help you continue to just PR after PR after PR. Happen to win a few national championships along the way. And after you graduate, since you're still in love with track, you make your way to the Swiss team, kind of with Coach Halverson's encouragement that you keep going, correct? Right?
mm,
Once you make it, across the pond and start competing in Switzerland, you run what you called your most technically correct race, come from behind by about 10 meters on the final stretch, and you win. And since then, you've been a member of the team. What has that dynamic been like? Because I know you've gotten to compete at other events post winning that 400-meter championship.
Yeah, well, it was definitely interesting because most of the people like they knew each other already, and so I was kind of the random person because I PR'd by a massive amount, and so it was before that it was like, she's probably not gonna be on the team, and so no one really like knew me, and
Mhm.
I hadn't done like any of the procedures or really, yeah, been at like the meets that they had been at and stuff. And so that was kind of interesting in and of itself. It was like I just kind of came out of nowhere, and then it was like, oh hey, she's on the team with us now. So, but it was kind of cool because I think the person that like I felt like has like had the most tension with on the team. Like we're probably the closest now on the team. Um, so that's cool. I'm not gonna like name names, but yeah, and I think we all get along like really well now. So I'm really glad about that. Um,
Uh, That's great. Um,
so
we watched your event live, watching it happen, and I saw that you were able to, earn their respect a little bit, get congratulations afterwards, and then a few weeks later you compete again and you PR again, and one of your other competitors from that same national championship also PRs. So now you guys are kind of shifting the rankings a little bit for who might be alternate versus on the actual track for 4x4.
mm.
Um, what has it been like to kind of get to continue to train, work on your handoffs, those kinds of things with these new people that you're winning their respect a little bit with how you're performing over the last month or so.
Yeah, that's been pretty cool. We've actually only practiced handoffs like once so far. We're gonna keep doing it more, but yeah, I haven't been in Japan for that long because like the way it works in like Switzerland is like you all kind of you like work out separately in your clubs.
Right.
So it's not exactly like here. So we're like all on the Swiss team, but it's not like yeah, it's a little different, I guess.
I
So
got you. You remember of the Longenthal club, correct?
yep,
And
El
then,
Tao Long and Tall. Yeah.
okay. Um, through your travels, whether that was to Switzerland or to Japan, I know that as a now an Olympic caliber athlete, you have to maintain a really healthy diet, keep your body in like peak performance condition. But athletes do love snacks. Have you discovered in your travels a new craving, a new, you know, food that you'll just consider a staple going forward? Is there like a guilty pleasure that you've had in your travels that you've discovered?
I mean, I've been to Switzerland like quite a few times, so I've actually kind of tried everything in Switzerland already. So this is kind of a cheap answer. I'm sorry, but like it's always gonna be chocolate and cheese. Like it's just those are my weaknesses.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's just the cheese here is just so incredible. It's like oh that Gruyere, yum. The
So you
flavor
winning
and
how many what we saw on social media, we saw a picture of you holding a large brick
yeah,
of cheese.
a
That was a full
kilogram of
kilo?
Gruyere, which is about half a pound. So it was quite a lot of cheese, and it is gone now. So
Okay, all right. So you have
yeah,
finished the cheese.
come to your own conclusions there.
Okay, fair enough. Um,
And I haven't been in Japan too long, but I've been pretty curious about the stuff. I saw these interesting orange jelly looking things that
okay,
taste pretty good. So I like, yeah.
okay. If you wouldn't mind, give us just like a peek into your daily schedule since you've traveled to Japan, because I know with certain protocols in place, you're still distancing and you're trying to make sure that no one is getting sick. So, what have you guys been able to do, and what are you doing outside of your training time?
Yeah. Okay. So when we first arrived in Narita, we had to go through this whole like long accreditation and like testing, like all the stuff process. And fortunately, it only took us like 2 to 3 hours. I think the other group is larger, and it took them like 4.5 hours. So it's quite a long process. And then after that, we had like a bus kind of just for us to take us to the hotel. Because we're like, while we're here, we're like in quarantine for like the whole time we're here, kind of. So they're like trying to keep us in that bubble. And so right now I'm in a pre-camp in Tsukuba. So Hotel Nico Tsukuba. And we have the top three floors are just for our team. So floors 9 and 10 are our rooms, and then floor 11 is like the dining room and like kitchen and like living room kind of area. And the kind of daily process is like we have to get up and sometime between like 7:15 and 9. We have to do like a saliva test, spit test, and then we have to also fill out the OSHA app. Um, yeah. And then it's like breakfast. And then we have like a morning training session. Um, it's not like at a set time every day. It's kind of interesting. And then we also have like an afternoon training session later. Um, yeah, we've been like shuttling to University of Tsukuba. So I guess the team has like a partnership with them. And so we're able to train at their facility. It's just like a little bit complicated. So since we're still like quarantined, we have like people that come with us and like make sure that we're like staying distant from like the university athletes. And then we have like set like designated areas that are um, like not accessible to the university athletes that are like just for us kind of. It's, yeah, so it's a little complicated, but yeah, it works. So.
Sounds like they're taking care of you. And then in between, obviously, the training sessions, while you're staying quarantined, you're staying safe. I imagine that leads to a little bit of downtime
Mm,
because you do have to fill the rest of the day that you're awake. Um,
yeah.
have you found a new fantasy series that Coach Halderson recommended to you? Are you mostly filling it with continuing to work from a distance for that startup that you mentioned? How are you going about the rest of your day
Yeah, well, I took time off from the startup because I
in
thought
the
it would be,
Olympics?
in case, well, I was like, I thought I would be kind of more busy, I guess. So I was kind of surprised by the amount of, yeah, downtime that I have. Yeah, but fortunately, everyone else is like just as bored as me. So we've been like playing games. Later today, actually, we're gonna be watching the Olympics together for a
Okay.
bit. We'll play some games. They had like two like 1,000 piece puzzles that they had set up upstairs. So I worked on one of those for a while. They're completed now, unfortunately. So,
You can always
but yeah.
start over or turn them upside down and try to
Well,
complete it
one of
without
them
the
has
picture.
already been started over, and it's still done.
Okay.
Too much time on our hands.
Okay, you're
But,
really good at that specific puzzle. Okay.
yeah.
Well, with the training experience that you've had with the team, um, obviously you still have your event coming up just a few days away now, but not too much farther in the future. You have a chance to compete basically in your backyard and continue to train with the Swiss team and be a part of the World Championships in 2022. What do you think that experience could be like, and how has being a member of the team for the last month or so kind of mentally prepared you for that idea? And I know it's obviously a little early in the process, and there's, I'm sure, plenty more that you have to get checked off along the way. But what kind of thoughts have you had in your mind during this process about what that could be like about a year from now?
Yeah, well, it's definitely, like, shifted my perspective, because before that, it was like, "Oh, I'm, like, a national athlete. I'm trying to be, like, a national athlete." But now it's like, "Oh, I'm an international athlete now." So, now it's like, well, okay, so now I'm, like, at that level, and I'm, like, going to the Olympics. So, like, yeah, maybe I can do this, maybe I can, yeah, be an international level athlete. So that's kind of cool. And then, like, the fact that it's, like, what, like, an hour and a half away from home, like, that's just so crazy to me. So, I guess, you can't just, stop now. That's so
Yeah, keep pushing, keep getting after it.
yeah.
Absolutely. Um, Now, with the quarantine and the protocols, obviously you haven't had a chance to take in all of the Olympic venues. So it's too early to ask what your reaction was to that. But what do you think that will feel like to be able to walk through all of the facilities, to be a part of Olympic Village, to look at that and just, yeah, I made it to the Olympics. What do you think that will be like for you?
I mean, I can't even, like, really imagine yet because I have no idea I've never been to an Olympics. So I don't really know what the Olympic Village is like, I guess. But I think this will be definitely a bit more of a different experience than past Olympics, I think, from what I've heard. I don't know. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. You
Um,
think it'll feel pretty surreal to be part
there
of
is
it though?
one of the members of the 4x4. She's, well, two of them actually. they're running the 400 hurdles, and so they're already in the Olympic Village, and so they've been like sending us videos. Apparently, they have like self-driving cars there, and like some other cool stuff. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. Can't get COVID from a self-driving car. It doesn't breathe. That's awesome.
Yeah, true. Exactly.
Okay. Well, that sounds incredible, and we're going to keep cheering you on from this side of the ocean. Um, I know that you still have a couple of days before the team finalizes its decision about who's going to be actually running and who's still going to be alternates. But
Mhm.
regardless, we're going to be rooting for you from this side of the ocean here in Newburgh. And assuming you do make it, obviously, it's the Olympics, so it's televised. But are there any other ways that our fans can follow you, whether that's on social media or follow you on, the ramp up to it? Like how can we continue to provide support and continue to kind of watch this journey with you?
Yeah. I mean, there is also like Swiss athletics on like social media and stuff. So there's like a team, like 4x400 meter team, Switzerland, on Instagram, and like Swiss athletics on Instagram, and like a ton of others. So you can also follow it there. Um, and the 4x400 meter prelim, the time for it is going to be at like 3:25 a.m. Pacific time,
Sounds good.
on Thursday. So so if you don't want to watch it live, I believe there will be like replays of it later on TV. So don't stress over that. I guess if you want to see it.
Well, I wouldn't gamble real money, but I am betting that Coach Halderson will be awake and watching it at 3:25 live.
Well, yes, he watched the prelim of the Swiss champs at like 4:45 a.m. So
Yeah, I'm
that
betting
much.
he'll be awake to be there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Sarah, it has been wonderful to continue to follow your experience. I know that this must feel incredible, and we're all very proud of you here from George Fox. So we want to continue to wish you the best in your training and leading up to the event. And we look forward to continuing to see what you guys can accomplish. Thank you for your
Thanks.
time.
Yeah. And it really does like make a difference to me, like all of the support from like George Fox and stuff. So just wanted to say that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you, Sarah. We'll continue to touch base and we wish you the best.